Thank you.
Thank you. I now recognize Mr. Schneider from Illinois for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I'm not going to make it any easier on you, Ambassador, but I will pick up on what Ms. Fischbach and Schweikert before said. Ambassador Greer, yes or no, didn't Israel zero out all tariffs on U.S. products before President Trump announced his across-the-board tariffs on April 2nd?
They indicate they're willing.
Just yes or no?
They did not do it yet. They announced they wanted
They
to.
announced it, but yet President still imposed 17% tariffs on Israel. Ambassador Greer, what's our trade balance with the elephant and fur seals, petrels, albatrosses, and penguins living unhurt in McDonald Islands?
They're part of Australia's customs union.
But they're separate, and I'm going to reclaim my time. The President has imposed specific tariffs on herd and McDonald's Islands while not taking any action against Russia, Belarus, North Korea, or Cuba. And I don't want to disappoint my mom and my wife or have them yell at me, but Mr. Greer, I'm going to say what I think almost everyone is thinking. WTF? What's the President thinking? What did he and you think was going to happen after unilaterally declaring a global trade war? Did you expect the so-called Liberation Day to become Liquidation Week, destroying more than $10 trillion of value and moving us from an extended bull market into a self-induced bear? Did you intentionally plan to decimate Americans' retirement accounts and 529 accounts for their kids' education? Did you and the President anticipate raising prices for American families already struggling to make ends meet? Did you mean to make American businesses less, not more competitive in global markets? Was the intention with the largest tax increase in U.S. history to put the United States and maybe the entire global economy into a recession because of what Wall Street Journal editorial board, let me repeat this, it was the Wall Street Journal editorial board said is the dumbest trade war in history. Already, Diane Swank, the chief economist at KPMG, is saying that her baseline forecast is a recession starting this quarter. Jamie Dimon and JP Morgan have raised their probability of recession to 79%. The Wall Street Journal reports the betting markets have it at 70%, and Goldman Sachs recently again raised their likelihood, the second time since this trade war started, to 45%, and I expect that will rise again. Indeed, by the time you have finished this hearing, I wouldn't be surprised if we already were in a recession. Less than a week after President Trump's declaration of, again, the largest sales tax in U.S. history, global markets continue to roil as a result of tariff-based recession fears. The President's newly imposed tariffs have real-world impacts on every one of my constituents who will see higher prices at the grocery store, shortages of critical products, and less money in their retirement accounts and the accounts for their kids' education. American families deserve relief, but instead, thanks to President Trump and you, they're heading to the store to panic buy essentials before retailers raise their prices. I've heard from literally thousands of constituents about the pain that President Trump has said this country will suffer as a result of these tariffs. They have written to me sharing that they have lost as much as 20% of their 401k and 529 accounts in the last week alone due to market fluctuations that are responding in real time to the President's announcements of arbitrary and capricious tariffs. Seniors who recently retired are worried about having to return to work to make sure they can make ends meet, and today wonder if they will now outlive their retirement savings. Small business owners are worried about laying off employees. Large companies in my district are preparing their next earnings report for investors and telling me that the impacts of these tariffs are material. That's business speak, for the tariffs are going to have a real adverse effect on their operations and likely adverse effect on their cash flows. Make no mistake, President Trump's trade agenda is slowing economic growth and job creation, weakening U.S. global leadership, and increasing the cost of doing business in the United States. These tariffs make life for Americans more expensive, make our nation less secure, and our citizens less prosperous. Congress must take back its constitutional authority to stop the chaos and the pain President Trump is inflicting on American families and dig us out of what could be a self-inflicted recession. Before I ask a question with my limited time, I ask unanimous consent to submit into the record the CIA World Factbook entry for Heard Island and McDonald Island.
Without objection.
I also ask unanimous consent to submit for the record an article from Scientific American, The Heard and McDonald Islands Are Pristine Biological Wonderland. The subtitle of the article is, Trump's Tariffs Put a Spotlight on the Uninhabited Heard and McDonald Islands, which comprise a remote volcanic refuge for penguins and seals and a UNESCO World Heritage Site. This just once again illustrates that these tariffs are not strategic, they are not targeted, they are arbitrary and capricious in hurting our economy and our American citizens. I yield back.